What's going on, guys? Just want to do an intro for an awesome rum barrel guitar that we're going to be doing for Seven Fanthoms Cayman Islands Premium Rum. I was lucky enough to make a contact with a gentleman that goes down to the Cayman Islands, and they wanted to work out a deal on a couple rum barrel guitars. They had this awesome design on a couple of their barrels. This is unique rum in the sense of how it's aged. They take the barrels out to sea and drop them 7 fathoms down, 42 feet. And the barrels end up getting this awesome sort of gray patina. The white oak ages nicely. They burned in their logo onto this barrel after I had measured out how this is going to fit. And it'll be an awesome guitar. We're doing 2 of these for them and really excited to get this going. So let's take this out into the shop and saw off the backs of the char. So we'll take the barrel part and bring it up to the bandsaw, and you can see how grayed out that char is. A lot more salt gets in there than I would have expected. Just a little bit of residue. It's also probably from pulling the stuff out of the sea as well. So we'll cut through the whole top. And then go downstairs and glue it up. I got that center clamp pushing the barrel down so it's nice and flat and level. Once we let that dry for a couple days, we'll come back to my Craftsman 10-inch bandsaw and cut the shape out. Make sure you cut as close as you can to that line. Really helps out when you are routing later. We then pass the top through the drum sander, get it flat. Then we throw another piece of white oak in the middle. Have those already pre-made. We cut those out. And now we've got a top that's stable, glued down to a piece that'll hold it together. We're then going to route out my secret tone chambers. Now, this is just really to lighten up the body. I've got this in a specific pattern because I know how the barrels are going to be glued up against it. This is the optimized pattern that I had designed in my head, as the barrels sort of come in all different shapes and sizes in terms of where that cutout is. So this is a 1.5-inch bit, top bearing bit, and we're just gonna, it's actually 3/4 thick, wide, whatever, and we're gonna just route this out so that there's a little bit more than 1/4 inch of the top left. It goes from being a boat anchor to a really unique hollow body to some degree. So then we'll take this back upstairs to the Craftsman pin router or table router. I've got the Infinity cutting tools, 3/4 bit, 2-inch long, and then we're going to put a back on this as well. This is a barnwood back of old eastern white pine, and we glue that down same way with the wine press clamp. Cut it off, all the excess, and we'll throw it back upstairs and clean up that edge. So this is to get that body looking good. We run it through that table router again, get that edge cleaned up. And then here we are using a custom tool I bought to clean off the sides. This gets the sides nice and even. It's a contour sander. I think I've got 120 grit on there. We run an edge on this, so for some reason that didn't pick up, but I run a 1/4-inch bit on the top and the back that evens out and gives me a nice, comfortable contour for these guitar bodies. I don't like the 1/8 on this, and I don't like anything thicker, so we use a 1/4-inch round over to do that. We then flip over the back, and we're going to do rear routed controls. We don't want to take a plate and cover up that beautiful burned-in top. I got these templates from BigdGuitars. He's got a really nice set of templates, so I took that and made my own template on the back side here to just help me move along with it. We're then going to get a control plate and lay out where the controls should be. Sort of standard configuration. We're actually going to go with a toggle switch instead of the blade switch. I'm not 100% sure if a blade switch would work here because of the aging and the weathering on the top. So we get a backing board, drill out 3/8 holes for the two control plots, and then one for the toggle. We're then going to use a stepper bit here and clean up that output jack, which really is probably the greatest thing I found. Really helps. From there, we're going to then use my standard configuration humbucker in the neck and the Tele bridge pickup. This is my favorite sound. I just love this combination on these guitars. Really gives you a versatile guitar. Long control bit to do the control wiring. And then we're going to use this aging solution that's going to give it a little bit of gray to match the top. This didn't work out perfectly. So what I did is I came back with a torch and then darkened up a couple of spots. Just sort of spot torched it to match the top a little bit more. But this aging solution was pretty close. Get this on Amazon. This is in a bunch of my videos. So then we're going to move to the neck, and we're going to do something really cool with the neck. We're going to use Cayman Island shells for a inlay in the headstock, and then the side dots and fret markers. So we're going to crush some shells. The shells really have a beautiful pink color. So I've got a mallet and a sort of, I guess, a smasher. This creates some dust and chips. And then what we do is we go through and sort them. So the finer dust becomes part of the glue and the epoxy that we use. And then the bigger chips help sort of round it out. So we did this for about, 10-15 minutes just to get it all sort of set up right. And it was just a fun way to get this inlay looking cool and match the vibe of the guitar. So we get some epoxy and we've taped off the fretboard, and we'll just mix this stuff up. Like I said, I use the dust as part of the glue, and then some of the chips fall in and fill out the holes a little better, so it's a really neat look. Using long set epoxy here. This stuff dries a lot harder than like the 5-minute epoxy. When I do these, I usually use the longer set epoxy. Turns out a lot better. Trick here is to come back, heat it a couple of times, and then poke it with a stick, and you'll get it set. For the headstock, we're going to drop the Cayman Island shape on. And we import that into the easel CNC machine. We then run it on a board with a really small, I think 132 bit. And we want to get the exact outline, all the little coves and everything, onto that smaller size. So we run it on the easel, cut out that shape out of alder, and then what we're going to do is place this on the headstock. Trick with this and the aging is to have the neck aged before you do any of this. That way you've got the coloring right. We get some double stick tape, the StewMac Dremel base, and we just go back and forth and route out that shape slowly. We take a couple of passes, and really it's a great easy thing to do this way. I didn't trust taking my CNC to the neck itself. I haven't had some great luck with it at times, so doing it this way was just as quick. So same process for the fret dots is we use the dust as the glue, and then we use the bigger chips to sort of fill it in. We let this then dry for about a week. Want to make sure it's nice and hard, and then we'll come back with a sanding block for that 9.5 degree radius. And we'll do 80 grit to get it flat, and then 320 grit to get it nice and smooth, and that usually ends up being perfect. It's looking good. So then we come back to the headstock and sand this off with a block. We'll start with 80 grit and just move on up. Then we go ahead and fret and do all that other work that I've shown 1,000 times in my other videos. Here is the final setup. Get the neck on, get a plate, ream out the tuner holes a little bit once I finish it with my custom finishing process. Needs a little bit of cleanup. So these are the ratio tuners. I already wired up the bridge and the humbucker, wired up the controls as well. This is just the final back and forth to get it all set up. Smooth out that nut slot. Use a real bone nut. Want to make sure it fits perfectly. And then we'll go back live into video here and give you guys a demo. What's going on, guys? Finally got the Rum Barrel guitar done. This is really outstanding. The burned in logo that they designed came out beautifully. I ended up doing rear routed pickup controls, which makes this look outstanding. Really nice. The back, again, is some barnwood that I aged up a little bit with some solution to mirror the front. When they let these sit in the ocean, it really picks up a lot of gray. And so I thought I got it to match pretty good. And then what I did on the sides is I took my torch and I ran it along the sides just a little bit to pick up some of the sort of burn from the logo, and I think it came out really nice. The other cool thing we did is we inlaid the Cayman Island shape into the headstock, and then we used the seashells as inlays on the side and on the top, and it really came out nice. Really outstanding looking guitar, and it sounds great too. These pickups, really, I love them, obviously, but they really sound great. Give you a little sound clip here. I'm running a Legend 50 amp through a greenback, and we'll go with the neck perfect PAF. Hot PAF is how I wind these. And then the bridge really has that telly scream. That's enough. I'm not Justin. Anyway, just another awesome project I got completed. Again, a white oak neck, ratio tuners, Graphtec, string trees, bone nut. Just another awesome project. If you guys like guitar related content, please comment, like, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.